Okay, this is part 2 of my Q&A about my natural birth and delivery. Okay, so the next question I was going to answer is, would I do anything differently next time around? I would say, honestly, no. I'm open to potentially having a water birth, just because I've always loved the idea of that. I moved to Charleston, where we're living, really late in the game. I was like 35 weeks pregnant, I think, like that. So at that point, it was just really, honestly, I didn't feel comfortable just like trying to figure out insurance and going with a midwife and all that, because my insurance does not cover midwives. But I've luckily found an amazing OB and a great hospital that's breastfeeding friendly, and it was a great experience. I had really nothing happened that I was upset with. My nurse was especially supportive of a natural birth and was so awesome. I loved her. I went to the hospital, I think, at the perfect time for me. I was 6 meters dilated, and I was progressing pretty fast at that point. So I didn't feel like I got there too early, and I really loved, the support team that I had. I had my husband and my doula. My mom was there kind of in and out and was really helpful and letting me know when it was time to go to the hospital and stuff. So I would say, in prep-wise, I prepared really well for my birth. I was very educated. I had a birth plan that was given to the nurses and to the doctors. And so I really felt confident going into it that I had prepared as best I could. I really felt mentally in the right place. And so I think that's, a lot of times girls regret it, I think, if they just feel like they didn't do their research or didn't prepare mentally. Natural birth is extremely intense. It is not a, sit there and put on makeup and just relax kind of thing. Like, it's going to get pretty ugly as far as, your body's just doing a lot. So I feel like if you're not prepared for kind of what you're going to experience, it can be scary and overwhelming. And I think because I had prepared so much, it really wasn't. I felt very much at peace with what was happening, even though I was in a ton of pain. So let's see here. The next question is, was I able to stay really hydrated? Was I able to relieve myself when needed? Those two questions, I would say I definitely stayed pretty hydrated. I drank a lot of coconut water, which I thought was really awesome. I'm glad. I definitely would do that again. My husband was really good about, during labor, passing me the coconut water with some ice to sip on. During labor, I definitely wasn't super thirsty. I was, but I was just more focused on like getting through each contraction, because I had really bad back labor and it was excruciating. So I remember I definitely would like to sip on stuff, but I wasn't like totally just dying for food and water. I just felt very much like, okay, let's just get through this, and then afterwards I'll drink a lot of water. But I definitely recommend having coconut water. It's very hydrating, a little bit more electrolytes than just like your average, water. So, relieving myself, not have the epidural, it's kind of cool because you can get up and walk around. You're not, glued to the bed, and you don't have a catheter. So yeah, I got up to use the bathroom a couple of times. I don't feel like I used the bathroom that much at the hospital, because I really probably wasn't like super hydrated, and never had the good number 2. And so I think, it's good though to have like your doula or your birth coach like make sure they have water or some kind of a drink available for you. And it's really good though to make sure you keep peeing, just because it relaxes the pelvic floor down there. You don't want to keep a full bladder, and actually the full bladder can signal contractions. Not that it's a bad thing to have them, but you don't really need help. Trust me, you'll have them plenty once you hit active labor. So that question was, did I exercise up to the point of labor, or was there a cutoff? 100% exercise until you go into labor. I worked out religiously when I was pregnant. I've always worked out, and I just didn't stop. I lifted a lot of weights, did a lot of CrossFit type stuff. I remember, I think I was 38 weeks something, and I started to kind of work out a little bit less, just because I was really tired. I had a lot of energy my whole pregnancy and felt really good, and I felt good, until the very end. I just was more tired and kind of felt like I just deserved a little bit of a break, just to kind of sit and I kind of just put my feet up a lot. I just I'm just going to relax, because I know that baby's going to come and I'm going to be not sleeping. So I I didn't gain a ton of weight. I just gained, the right amount, I felt like, and I felt strong, so I had muscle tone and all that still. And I think it was really what helped me bounce back as fast. Not to mention, it definitely helps with labor. I did a ton of squats, which is really great for that pelvic floor, toning that and getting your legs nice and strong, keeping your abs strong. I mean, these are all things that are going to help you in labor. There is no cut off. I would say just to really listen to your body. And if your body's saying, today I need to rest, then rest. Sometimes though, it is good to work out. Even if you don't feel tired, it'll help you have energy. So the last question said, would I recommend going to a Bradley Method class? I would say, yeah, Bradley Method is great. That's what I primarily use. I kind of combined that and I would say hypnobirthing. I didn't really use either one like super hardcore. Like I said, the back labor that I experienced was very different than what I was thinking I was going to have. I plan on being super active, like walking around, doing a lot of that stuff during labor to kind of advance things and help cope. And for me, it was just better to sit on the bed still, and I would just get into some kind of funky positions on the bed, just whatever I could do to try and cope. My husband had to massage me constantly with my doula. They just kind of traded off because that was all that helped. So really, I didn't use a ton of the stuff that you read about in the books to do, but I was glad that I did that prep. I think classes are a great way to start if you're not familiar with the birth process and kind of what to do and how it's going to look. Also, if you don't really want to read a lot, if you don't feel like opening books and reading books cover to cover and that being your choice of how to research, then I would say go to a class. It's great. It's structured. You can pencil it in, have your husband go with you, and you guys can go to a class together. It's really important, I think, for your spouse or your birth, partner to be educated with you. My husband, I joke, is as educated as I am, if, and definitely more than I would say 90% of the girls I've met, just because I talked his head off for like 9 months. So I'm thankful because he was a great coach and he was super informed, and I felt really, content with like what I had let him know. But my doula was like, he was so awesome. I was shocked at how much he knew and how educated he was. So class can be a great place to start. I think a lot of, midwives are really encouraging about taking classes and stuff. So definitely look into it. There's usually one offered in every one city. And definitely read The Husband Coach Childbirth by the Bradley Method. That's my favorite book, and I remember after that book just feeling super empowered and at peace about my decision. So that's all the questions I have so far, and I'm sure I'll do another video probably on that question about why I chose a natural birth, just because that's a very long answer. But stay tuned for that and for more videos. Bye, guys.